On each episode of Around in Durango, we visit a local business and chat with a special guest on what is happening in this great town of ours.
Today we're talking with owner Dean Fagner of Four Leaves Winery, and we'll also be sitting down with music director Thomas Heuser from the San Juan Symphony to see how they are great parts of this community. Hey Dean!
Hey Dean!
How are you?
What's happening, man?
You ready for a little wine?
Yeah,
it's 10:30 in the morning. Let's go.
Dean, thank you so much for having us here today. We love Four Leaves Winery. You've been such a great neighbor. Of course, our office has been just upstairs for years, and it's so fun to host a little Around in Durango here with you. So tell us a little bit about how Four Leaves got started. I know you had a previous location.
My first location was in Manitou Springs. That was an existing winery that I acquired. I since sold the first location, and then a little over 9 years ago, I moved here to open this location.
How neat. So you just kind of picked up the business, you had everything in place and said Durango is where it's going to be.
This location, as you're well aware, we're right across the street from the train station, and this place just cried out to be a winery. We don't have a vineyard, we don't grow our own grapes. There's a whole network of suppliers we work with. They buy excess grapes on the open market. Ultimately, they send it to us in juice form. We do everything from that point on. All the fermentation, all the blending, all the bottling is actually done here on site.
You're actually making, 20 different varieties of wine here?
Think of us as a microbrew for wine.
So if somebody wanted to make their own wine,
A fun wedding or an event coming up or something for their business.
We can take customers into production and show them what goes on, and I let them make their own wine with us.
now I can't do the Lucille Ball thing where I go mash the grapes around. We couldn't set that up back there. Maybe we could do something like that.
I could bring some in a tub for you. That would definitely be your own personal batch, though.
No one else is going to sample it?
I don't know if I'd put my label on that one.
I see your point.
Speaking of labels, you can do, if somebody did want to come in and do something for an event, you can do your custom label as well.
Yeah, you can do a single label on a single bottle. It makes a unique gift. If you're going to a dinner party or something, you really can make a statement that way.
It's really neat. When we had said that our Durango Land and Homes office is above a winery, I think most people are like, oh, how convenient.
Yeah. You were a top flight collegiate wrestler. You wrestled for like the #1 wrestling program in the country, right?
I was fortunate enough, I wrestled for Iowa State, and my senior year at Iowa State, we won the national championship.
That's amazing. Wow. I always love to hear that because, you don't always know where everybody comes from, and it's one of those things that came up in a conversation one day, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. So really cool.
Yeah.
So don't mess with you if people are coming in.
People need to know they're going to get bounced out of here,
So that's one of the beauties of owning a wine store, though, or a wine shop. I love my customers. I mean, everybody's just so chill. I've never had an issue.
I'll tell you one hard thing about having an office above a winery like yours,
what's
for
that?
this space in general, is that you're up there typing away on your computer, talking to people on the phone and whatnot, and then all I can hear is laughter down here. And it's like this sound of laughter permeating through the woodwork, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could go down and enjoy myself.
Kind of feel like you're missing out a little bit.
Every day. There was some kind of Chamber of Commerce award that you won. What was that?
It was a few years back. We were voted the Spirit of Durango recipient, and I'm very proud of that, because that goes to businesses that are active in the community and helping to support the community, and to be recognized like that's a huge bonus.
And I know also you're a big supporter of the Symphony as well.
The Symphony is an important one. So I'm very proud of that.
Well, wonderful. Well, since we're here, it would be wonderful if we could maybe sample one of your favorite wines. I know you have a large selection. So
I do, but I also know just what you like.
How are we gonna drink that? Are you gonna bring me a straw or something?
I can do that as well. Yeah, let me get that for you.
All right, thank you, Dean.
Thanks, Dean.
Oh, Dean, the Malbec.
This is your personal favorite.
It is. I love this one.
I definitely wanted to make sure that I served this for you.
Seems like favoritism to me a little bit.
And I love, the straws are a nice touch with our COVID.
I've never had one out of a straw.
I've never had one out of a straw before.
Let's do this.
But this will be our first.
Does a straw add any characteristic to the glass that we should be aware of?
No, but it does increase the alcohol absorption when you drink through a straw. So.
Is that real?
It is.
Oh my goodness. This will be an exciting second interview, I'll tell you that.
Enjoy.
There we go.
Thanks, Dean. Thomas, wie geht's?
Sehr gut. Thank you for having me.
Wait a second, you gotta speak in German? Or?
Well, I don't think we should the whole time necessarily, but this is so cool. Cheers.
Oh, sorry.
So nice to be here, Prost.
It's so nice to be here. So I'm happy to share my first wine out of a straw with you.
This is so unique. I'm so excited to try.
Kind of good out of a straw like that.
It's good out of a straw?
I mean, it's
Okay,
good
we gotta
wine,
give it
and
a
then
shot.
you
I
do
gotta
it out of a
see.
straw. It's pretty nice with your mask on. Isn't that lovely?
That's the Malbec, right?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
can see what Dean's talking about. The uptake is definitely.
I feel like the alcohol is just mainlining to my brain. It's very nice.
Tell us a little bit about the history of the symphony. We are so grateful to be able to have such an incredible amount of talent in our local symphony, and I think some people don't even know that it's here.
The San Juan Symphony has been around in various forms since the 1970s. It was actually formed from two community orchestras, one in Durango and one in Farmington.
Has there ever been a season like 2020 for the symphony in those 35 years?
We've moved the entire symphony operation to a virtual format.
What were some of the challenges you faced to do that, and how it all
Well,
came together?
Yeah, it's been a complete overhaul, I would say. You know, we're used to having an audience in fixed seats, and now the recordings of the ensembles are taking place weeks in advance of our broadcast dates. And usually the live experience has some spontaneity to it and that kind of thing. And when you're recording, all of a sudden you're a little more self-conscious about what you're doing. And there's no real energy from the audience to bring you to that sort of adrenaline level that you get in live performance. So very tricky, but the silver lining, I think, is that we are reaching a broader audience than ever. We've got audiences tuning in from across the country, around the world, really, wherever.
Yeah, people are watching. Like that's the thing is you've got a lot of numbers out there of people really tuning in and checking this out. The first time I met you was some event. And you know, somebody's like, this is the maestro of the San Juan Symphony. And here's this like young 20-something person. It's like, what, is this a Doogie Howser of the Symphony
very
Orchestra?
good. I, of course, as Thomas Heuser, was always Doogie Howser growing up, so I'm used to that.
I've never said that to you before.
No, that's good. And I went to Indiana University, so I was a Hoosier as well as a Hauser and a Heuser, and so, you know.
Tell us, how did you become this person who stands up in front of all these world-class musicians playing the symphony? That is such a awesome job.
It is quite an instrument, as you put it. You know, the fact that I do play all these instruments in that setting is very special, and I am grateful for the opportunity. You know, the stripes that you have to earn on your way to becoming a music director takes a lot of experience, a long time
Just
to get
cutthroat,
work.
like you're disabling the person on the way out of their hotel room, throwing tacks in the hallway. I mean,
It is cutthroat. It really is competitive. And even in the finalist appearance here, it was two very close friends of mine. And, you know, we happened to be in the same pool.
And so you're still friends with those other two people?
Thankfully, yes. Yeah.
but he knew just enough about them.
Yeah, exactly.
She was like, oh, he's kind of mentally unstable. But good luck to you with that one.
It really is hard to, again, differentiate yourself.
Well, I feel like our community is very lucky to have you here, and I know you have your family now, so this is definitely your home.
It is. I mean, it's just such a generous community. So many wonderful sponsors and partnerships along the way. So grateful for you.
Yeah, we share office space a little bit, right?
That's right. We're upstairs with you guys.
That's, you know, this is an all office episode. I just
It is
realized
it's
that.
our building. It's
Our
It
building.
is.
We're
It
in the
is.
same office. And
Yeah.
I'm always so impressed when I hear you speak because I think to myself, wow, I should have done more with my life. You know? I think you speak like 4 other languages and stuff like that. So thanks for speaking to me in English today. Appreciate
Oh,
that.
my pleasure.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Es gefällt mir sehr.
I know. You're such an
great.
impressive person. What's the future of symphonic music? I mean, how do you think about that as a landscape out there?
Well, that's a great question. You know, I think we are kind of living in a new era right now, and actually the pandemic pushed a lot of this to the forefront, which is that popular music does have a place at the symphony orchestra now. A lot of the bigger organizations bring in, you know, Common, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Pearl Jam, you know, like whatever it is to kind of make a real popular experience that is backed up by a symphony orchestra so that people say, oh, that actually sounds really awesome. Taking the normal expectations and shuffling it around is probably the best way to keep the next generation of audiences engaged.
Sir
Yeah,
Mix-a-Lot symphonically would be, I mean, Baby Got Back would be just amazing.
I was in Seattle when the Seattle Symphony did that because he's a Seattle local, and boy, that was something unique. That was really something.
can only
Yeah, well, I
imagine.
mean, the product you put on the stage, the performance stage, is just amazing. What's the best way for the community to support the San Juan Symphony?
So sanjuansymphony.org, you can get your season pass to our digital concert series, and any gift in any amount to our nonprofit makes a huge impact. We really just want people to be engaged with the music and try to figure out what we're all about. Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Thank you again for joining us and having a round at Four Leaves Winery. It's been a pleasure talking with Dean and Thomas. We are excited to be able to share their stories about what they are doing here in Durango. We'll see you next time for another Around in Durango.